Hello, I'm Robert Eklund, a senior at Stuart Hall High School. I am born and raised in the diverse city of San Francisco. From my kindergarten year to being a senior in high school, the last 13 years as a student of the Sacred Heart, along with the city I am from, has shaped the person that I am today. The schools of the Sacred Heart were founded by St. Madeleine Sophie Brat in France during the early 19th century. Brat was focused on giving young women a classical education. In Brat's time, women's education was not common, and her efforts were monumentous in giving thousands of women opportunities in a male-dominated world. The first school was founded in Amiens, France in 1802. Brat then created another school of the Sacred Heart in Paris in 1815, along with other sisters, and began to call the program the Society of the Sacred Heart. The society grew to over 3,500 members, and the schools continued to be established. Eventually, St. Rose Philippine Duchesne was the first to bring the schools to America, and founded the first school in St. Charles, Missouri. Over 200 years later, there are hundreds of Sacred Heart schools around the world thanks to these brave women. Stuart Hall High School was the first all-boys high school under the Schools of the Sacred Heart and was created in 2000. But like all the other schools, it still follows the goals and strives to educate its students in the same way as St. Madeleine Sophie Brat and St. Rose Philippine Duchesne did hundreds of years ago. The Schools of the Sacred Heart have 5 goals upon which they base their education. The goal I connect with the most is Goal 5, personal growth in an atmosphere of wise freedom. A quote from Goal 5 reads, "The school provides opportunities for all members of the community to share their knowledge and gifts with others." My first few years of high school, I treated service as not part of my freedom, but as a part of a requirement of school. I was focused in the classroom and participated in 3 sports, soccer, basketball, and golf. I loved being on teams with my classmates and built bonds through the sports that I played. Because most of my extracurricular time was dedicated to athletics, service often took a back seat. I was not using my wise freedom to the best of my ability, and would always pick playing basketball with my friends over completing service. I was far more interested in doing the sports that I loved instead of assisting others. The 75-hour service requirement made me feel as if the school was taking away from my freedom and even making me do things that made me uncomfortable. However, as high school continued, I created a relationship with my love for sports and service. I began to volunteer at the First Tee my sophomore year of high school. I connected my passion for golf with service and never looked back. The First Tee is a non-profit golf camp dedicated to keeping kids out of the rough, or in other words, helping kids focus on their schoolwork and teaching them core values using the tool of golf. I enjoyed teaching kids the sport that I loved while also teaching them life lessons on the First Tee's core values: honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, respect, confidence, responsibility, perseverance, courtesy, and judgment. I noticed similarities in the way the core values were taught at the First Tee and the way the Sacred Heart taught its 5 goals. I utilized what I had learned about the 5 goals in my skills in golf to develop the same passion I had for sports and service. My freedom was now being used to help others, and I was having a great time doing it. Now, as a senior, when hours are no longer required, I still venture to the First Tee and enjoy seeing the kids' smiling faces. I see kids I have helped around the city, and I'm always thankful for the relationship that I developed thanks to my personal growth and ability to translate my passion for golf into assisting others. Stuart Hall fostered a growth in me that inspired change on how I use my freedoms. Now, there is no longer a choice between playing sports that I love and serving others, because I know I can do both. After my years of service, I can relate to many class readings we do in Justice. One thing we explored is William Byron's Catholic social teaching. Byron says people have a right and duty to participate in society. Stuart Hall has reinforced my belief in this quote, as it has always inspired me to take part in new service. This can range from painting and rebuilding houses in New Orleans to doing beach cleanups with my mom here in San Francisco. However, all of my inspiration comes from my Sacred Heart education on the importance of service. The most valuable thing I've learned in my 13 years at Stuart Hall can be summed up in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 25. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and of his family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care, and necessary social services. Everyone has the basic rights as a human, and it is our job as brothers and sisters to use our own wise freedom to help each other when down. Thank you.